Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to uncover the ultimate grammatical secret to telling truly compelling, dramatic, and perfectly sequenced stories. We all tell stories, right? About our day, our childhood, or just to share a laugh about some random funny thing that happened. But have you ever felt your stories getting a bit, clunky, bogged down with way too many and thens? Today, we are absolutely mastering how to manipulate time in your narratives using the past perfect tense. It's a real game changer. Listen to this sentence for a second. He had mentioned feeling sick, but then they were surprised when he suddenly fainted. Notice how that instantly creates suspense? It's like a mini-movie. He said he felt sick before he fainted, but clearly nobody was paying attention. By strategically ordering these events using specific verb tenses, we create this dynamic unfolding of time, and that is exactly the power we're going to master today. So here's our roadmap for this explainer. First, we'll define the storyteller's secret. Second, we'll compare the simple past to the past perfect. Third, we'll visualize the timeline. Fourth, we'll build the perfect sentence. And fifth, we'll wrap up by avoiding some common tense mistakes. Let's jump right in. Okay, starting with section 1, the storyteller's secret. Let's look under the hood and see what this tense is actually doing behind the scenes.
Honestly, the absolute best way to think about the past perfect is simply as the past of the past. Both the simple past and the past perfect talk about things that are totally finished and over. But while the simple past just throws it out there that an event happened, the past perfect is your go-to when you're juggling at least two events in the past and you really need to securely anchor one event behind the other. It's how you tell your listener without a doubt what happened first.
Moving on to section 2, simple past versus past perfect. Now, what's genuinely fascinating is how this advanced tense contrasts with the basic one you're already using all the time. This comparison brilliantly illustrates the difference. Think about saying, I ate breakfast. Boom, simple past, it's a single finished action. Perfectly fine. But then, listen to this. I had eaten breakfast before I went to school. That's the past perfect. We absolutely need it here because we're comparing two separate past actions, eating and going to school, and we need to make it crystal clear which one kicked things off. Okay, if you take literally nothing else away from this explainer, remember this. The golden rule of 2. 1 finished past action, stick to the simple past. 2 past actions, you use the past perfect for the earlier event and the simple past for the later one. It's that simple. This one rule completely solves almost all the grammar headaches surrounding this topic. Master this, and you've basically mastered the storyteller's secret.
All right, section 3, visualizing the timeline. To really grasp how we can bend time, let's map out a typical morning.
Picture this. Let's say it's 7:30 a.m. right now. Looking back at the morning, we have 3 distinct events. At 6:45, I took a shower, at 7, I ate breakfast, and at 7:15, I left for work. Now, using only the simple past, we can just list these events in strict chronological order. But let's be real. If you have lots of details, that gets pretty boring pretty fast. I did this, then I did that, then I did this. It's just not a very engaging way to pull someone into your story. But listen to how the vibe completely transforms when we upgrade to the past perfect. We can actually break free from strict chronological order. We can start our story at the very end, leaving for work, and then comfortably jump backward in time without totally confusing our audience. Before I left for work, I had eaten breakfast and I had taken a shower. We're comparing events, and using had eaten acts as an instant signal to the listener that the breakfast definitely happened first. Now, to help navigate this mental timeline, native speakers love dropping in specific clue words. When you hear words like before, after, by the time, already, or just, pay attention. They're acting as structural signposts. Take already, for example. It shows an event happened earlier than expected, like it had already closed when I got there. Or just, which really emphasizes that barely any time passed between the 2 events. He had just got in the shower when he heard a knock. Okay, on to section 4, building the perfect sentence. So the crucial point here is how we actually put together these time-traveling sentences. Fortunately, the structure is wonderfully simple. It's just a 3-step formula. Step 1, your subject. Step 2, your auxiliary or helping verb, which is had. And step 3, the main verb in its past participle form. Honestly, the absolute best part about this structure is that the helping verb had never ever changes. I mean it. Whether your subject is singular like she or plural like they, it is always had. You don't even have to think about conjugating it.
But, all right, here is the slight catch. The challenge lies in step 3, the past participle. While regular verbs are super easy, they just end in ed across the board, like worked or walked, you absolutely do need to memorize the third column here for irregular verbs to make this work. Go becomes went in the simple past, but gone is a past participle. Eat becomes ate, then eaten. Be becomes was, then been. Getting a handle on these irregular forms is the real key to unlocking the whole shebang.
Oh, and I have to give you a pro-level pronunciation tip right here, because this will make you sound incredibly natural. Native English speakers almost always contract the subject and the auxiliary verb together in spoken conversation. Because had is a grammatical word, it's usually unstressed. So instead of distinctly saying I had been, you're going to hear I'd been. She had becomes she'd. They had becomes they'd. Tuning your ear to these subtle, blended sounds, it will massively level up your listening comprehension and make your speaking flow so much better.
Finally, section 5, avoiding common tense mistakes. Let's wrap this up by looking at a huge pitfall learners frequently fall into, and then we'll test your new skills. You hear this trap all the time. I had seen him yesterday. But wait, remember our golden rule? Never, ever use the past perfect for just one single isolated action in the past. If there's no second past action to compare it to, there's literally no reason to use the past of the past. You have to stick to the simple past and just say, I saw him yesterday. Only bring out the heavy machinery of the past perfect when you're establishing a timeline between two past events. All right, mini quiz time to test your storytelling radar. Listen to this high-stress scenario. She had just finished her exam when the timer went off. Ask yourself, which of these two actions actually happened first? Was it the timer going off, or did she finish the exam? Did you catch it? What's so cool here is how the grammar completely answers the question for us. The past perfect structure had just finished, proves definitively that she completed her test first, right before that alarm sounded. The simple past, went off, is the later event. The timeline is perfectly, flawlessly clear, all thanks to the verb tenses.
Let's try one more rapid-fire test. Imagine you walk through your front door, and your brother is sitting on the couch, entirely done with his schoolwork. Which option perfectly captures the past of the past in this sentence? When I reached home, my brother blank his homework. Is it finished or had finished? Well, if you said had finished, you hit the nail on the head. He completed the task before you even walked through the door, making it the earlier of the two past actions.
Master the timeline, and you absolutely master the story. So now that you're in on the storyteller's secret, I have a challenge for you. Think about a funny misadventure from your own past. Maybe you missed a flight, lost your keys, or confidently showed up to a party on the completely wrong day. How are you going to sequence those events? Which actions will you place first using the past perfect to really crank up the drama? Keep practicing, keep sharing your stories, and use this awesome tool to make your narratives truly captivating. Thanks for joining me on this explainer.